What's goody, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy, Who's Mans. You already know what time it is. We about to get into this playbook. You already see here, we got the Niners. I'm actually really excited about this. But if you guys are new, I do go over all 32 teams. And like I said, we're on the Niners. We're going to go through every single team. And yeah, so let's get into it. So this Niners playbook is going to be a West Coast style offense. A lot of under center, a lot of running the ball, and a lot of play action. And the great thing about this is the Niners have good blocking receivers in Debo and Mohamed Sanu, who's not even starting. And then they also have George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the NFL as far as receiving and blocking. So, and then they have a nice stable of running backs. They have three very usable running backs why am I forgetting his name? He was injured, and then they have Trey Sermon, and then they have Mitchell. All three of them, I think, are pretty good. Sermon is more of your ground, your pound, inside the goal line, inside the red zone, kind of running back. And then Raheem Mostert. You have Raheem Mostert, who's your dash, and then Sermon's your smash, and then you also have Mitchell, who's a good change of pace back as well. He's fast enough and he's quick, so you have that. You have Trey Lance. You have your pick between Trey Lance and Garoppolo. Garoppolo's more of your pocket passer, and then Trey Lance is more athletic. So, and right here I'm just showing you guys. This is some unique plays out of here. This is a play action tight end screen, which, I mean, it could be good, but there's things that Madden just can't do right. So I think this play is probably not going to be the best. But a lot of this playbook, I think you want to have Kyle Juszczyk in there, and the least amount of receivers as possible. Debo is great, and then you have Ayuk as well. And then, like I said, Mohamed Sanu is a good blocker, so you could utilize him in blocking as well. So, in the gameplay you're going to see, I haven't played yet, but in the gameplay you're going to see, I'm going to be using a lot of the I form, strong and weak formations, because I want to get my fullback in there, because he'll be a mismatch as well, because, I mean, he's pretty much a tight end. And he does a lot of the things you want in a run scheme. So, and then I'll primarily use Trey Lance, because having a mobile quarterback just makes it that much more difficult. But you see here, they have a lot of good under center formations: bunch tight end, bunch, wing flex, close, wing, deuce close, doubles off close, and then wide trio. And I'm going through some of these plays here. These are all good under center formations, so you're going to see more under center in this upcoming gameplay, kind of like the Tampa Bay gameplay I did. It was a lot of under center, utilizing this good offensive line they have, especially on that left side. So you're going to see that a lot. It's not going to be so flashy. I'm not going to be throwing 20 something passes. I'm going to be probably throwing closer to 15 passes and running the ball more. But as you see, they have I-form wing and I-form pro, I-form close slot, or slot close, sorry, tight wing, Y off. So they have a lot of good under center formations here, which I think is going to make it harder for, my opponent to want to send blitzes, because, these under center formations, they block really well out of, doing stuff like this. And the game plan with a playbook like this and a team like this is you want to get your tight ends and your fullback in use a lot, because they are your mismatches. Whereas Juszczyk is going to be a mismatch in the route running department, and he's also a serviceable run blocker. And then you have George Kittle, who's fast enough to outrun even the fast linebackers. And then he also has I'm pretty sure route tech, and then tight end apprentice, which he can get any route. So I mean, that's going to make it difficult for your opponent, especially if you understand what kind of defense they like to run. So you can always put them in the right position. And then you have a really good run game behind that, making it difficult for them to either commit to the run or commit to the pass solely. So definitely take advantage of that. And then their offensive line is good enough to where if you want, you can put Trey Lance in there. And, if nothing is open, you have the scramble possibility. It's a West Coast style offense, so you cut the field in half and make your read. And usually if that's not there, you just run. And you see here, they have some interesting screens. And like I said, with this offensive line, I should say, I think these screens are going to be a good part of this offense because of the fact that there's a lot of motion and a lot of the flow of that play goes to the left side of the field where, the opponent might go towards that side of the field, and then you have the screen on the other. So this I-form Y-off has some pretty interesting motions as well. Slot close is really good as well. The stretch will, the PA spot, jet sweep, all that, really good plays. Tight is always a good running formation. And like I said, you have George Kittle, who pretty much is a wide receiver, and you also have Juszczyk, who serves as a tight end. So it's not like you're coming out and you're completely useless to pass with this team, which is what makes them dangerous in Madden at least. Y-off, you have strong Y-off and close. Close is probably one of my favorite under center formations in Madden in general. You're going to see fullback middle, which is why I think this play could be just so great, because nobody expects that route from the fullback, especially if you have a fullback in the game. Now, if you want to run it with two running backs, then yeah, you can do that as well. You could even put Trey Sermon there and have Mostert in at running back and do something like that. I'm pretty sure you could put George Kittle in at wide receiver on the outside, and it just makes it that much better. And you see there, Juszczyk is a very good fullback. He's not, super slow, can't catch, no moves. I mean, they have a lot of variety with this playbook and with their players. So one thing that I do like about that. So we're going to go through this play here. Anytime I feel like the Texas route with an out route is good, because it just creates, especially in zone, it creates an issue because you have a route going in, and then you have that deep out route. It's going to suck the zones back to the inside just for a second, and then it gives you a chance to hit the out route. And then if they obviously play more outside, then you have that Texas route going over the middle. And with Juszczyk being just so good at route running, you have that. And then, for something more along the lines of man or maybe cover 3, you do have the comeback route there. And then I just threw this run play in there just in case if you've been hitting them with the pass enough and they decide to come out in a nickel or dime. Obviously, they're not going to be able to defend the run as well. So you can switch to a run, which is what makes this entire playbook so deadly. Then you also have strong close. Strong close is definitely one of the better under center formations. You have here that double move on the outside, and you're going to see, boom, that double move even gets Marlon Humphrey there. Double moves are great against man. I wouldn't chance that too much, but you have that. And then you have the potential to put George Kittle on a crossing route or a post on the inside and make this play even better. You have like a double post going on, and especially with the running swing, the swing back or the swing route from the running back going to that side, it draws those flat routes down. It just creates a lot of space on the other side of the field. And then you also have that post over the middle. So if they're playing cover 2 or if it's cover 0, something like that, you have the middle of the field open. And the good thing about that post is it goes outside a little bit first. and it draws the safety to the outside a bit, especially if they're playing outside shade. That's great, but this is just a great play right here, I think. Next, we have the Z close. That's a weak formation. This is a good formation as well, I think, just with alignments. You can create some issues. This is another play. It's similar to red zone scissors, except for, Juszczyk is running it. And really all you have to do if you want is send your tight end to the other side like this, and it creates a strong look, and just put them on a flat route, and it creates the exact same look, and boom. There you go. You have that there. And with the I'm telling you, with this fullback running it, I don't think many people are going to assume that he's going to do such a good job, but because he is such a mismatch issue, you have that. And then you also have the ability to put a Ayuk out there, but personally I think it's better with the tight end because it just draws the linebacker or that flat route out there a little bit better. This is another variation I tried out a little bit. You just have two clear out routes, and then you have him on an out route, and it just creates a lot more separation, I think, especially at cover 2. But I mean, there's different variations you can run of this play, and I think it's great, and especially because of the alignment. You know, if you constantly send Kittle out there to get in the flat. You can also run the ball because you're having a strong, look. So this is another great play to run under center. And I'm just showing you guys a little bit more of the plays. You have the fullback dive there with Juszczyk. So if they're coming out primarily dime or nickel, with 3 down linemen, you could run that. And like I said, Juszczyk is athletic enough to get you more than just 2-3 yards. As you see there, he just blows around the tackle. But there's one there. And you can even just send Kittle over to the other side there again, and you just have a little bit better blocking. As you're going to see here, we do a better job of blocking. That's a solid 5 yards. So that's a little scheme actually out of that formation you could run. These are all good. I feel like these are all good plays. Now, this isn't going to be a scoring 6 billion points, but these are all good formations. And now we're getting into the gun formations. Obviously, there's not going to be as many, but the gun formations they do have are pretty good. Split close is just always a good formation. And here you could have Mitchell, and I mean, it just really depends what you want. But I'm showing you guys without one adjustment. I feel like this play just becomes a lot worse. If you keep Deebo Samuel on that out route there, it makes it a little bit worse. It's just more congested, and it makes it harder to throw it to Ayuk there. But all you got to do is streak the number 1 receiver on the solo side, and it just creates that much more space for the crossing route for Ayuk. And that play is just so dangerous. I noticed even for myself when defending it, it was really hard to defend because Ayuk is coming in the slot there, and unless you're playing man and you have a better man defender, it's just really hard to defend, as you see there. And once again, you have him there for a nice, easy, big play. So, and this is another formation I think that is good to run the ball in, personally. One thing you could do is you could put Juszczyk in there as well, and you could put Kittle in the slot, and you have just a lot better run defense, and then you could kill them with that and then switch it up. And if they don't pay attention, you could do pretty big damage. As you see here, you switch it up, you put Juszczyk in there, and usually with the alignments and everything, these runs do really well, especially in this condensed set. But I feel like it's more based off of alignment and things like that, so you'll have to pay attention to that, and you'll see it more so in the gameplay. Hopefully I do well. Like I said, I haven't played the game yet, but you'll see that there. Then they also have HB Wheel, and then that's an amazing play. A lot of different things you can do there. And then wide receiver corner, double ends, next run wing tight, mesh spot. Love that play. Double post is always great. They have a lot of motions, creating like a 5, an empty backfield look. Right here, this is just anytime you have a trap run out of any formation, honestly, those are probably some of my favorite runs, especially if you don't run the ball too much and they give you a look like this. You see there, it just opens up the middle a lot more. It allows a defender to get a little too far into the box, and it creates a huge gap. You guys know how much I love mesh, but trap is good, and then they also have an inside zone out of this as well. So like I said, this playbook is definitely a really good running playbook. And there's just a lot you can do with this. I mean, if you wanted, you could put Mohamed Sanu in at wide receiver. He's a lot better blocker, but him and Deebo Samuel are about even as far as blocking, so that you don't really have to do that. They have Deuce Close, Y, what was that? Y off. I can't remember the exact name of this, but the route by Samuel is good, especially if you need just a couple yards. The zig going the opposite way is always great, and then with the clear out in the middle, a lot better. Right there, it was just a little glitchy, so don't expect that kind of animation every time. But if you do let it develop a little bit more, you do get more of a run out after the catch animation. And then you have the corner route, which I threw horribly, but if they're playing cover 2 maybe or man, that route just does a lot of damage. And then I had B there, but this has 2 corners and then some flat routes, so definitely look at that right there. Sometimes you got to watch out for the little bumps, because I noticed the bumps, they just stop for a second, and it makes it a lot harder to time your throws. And usually when you watch my gameplays, a lot of my throws are timed. I'm anticipating things. So maybe it may seem like, oh, I'm throwing blind, but a lot of this stuff is anticipated. I'm looking at what the defense is giving me, and I'm anticipating it. That there wasn't so much anticipation. It was more so like I waited a little too long. And when you wait too long on some throws, that's when you get those interceptions and stuff like that. So definitely anticipate and look at the alignment and where your defender is playing you. If they're playing inside, you have an outbreaking route. As soon as they break, just all you got to do is throw the ball outside, and it's going to be harder for them to get to the spot. And red zone scissors, I mean, I don't have to explain this too much, but you guys see red zone scissors. Great play, I think, one of my favorites, especially with with Raheem Mostert in there. I think this play is going to be a lot better, a lot more potential to do damage. And then don't sleep on this post. If you have time, a lot of the routes are going to the left side of the field, and that post is coming back over the top. So if they're playing man, or if they're playing cover 3 or something like that, why I threw that, I don't know. But if they're playing man, I'm trying to think, maybe cover 4 actually, something like that. This is going to be a great play. As you see there, that post does get open. I'm just, maybe taking a little too long to throw it, or maybe I could keep somebody in to block. But this play is great. It's great. Next, you have halfback or doubles halfback weak, which I like this formation a lot. I think this would be better with Trey Lance, with some of the different runs and things like that. Double post, the RPOs would be a little bit better with Trey Lance. Wide trips weak. I think trips formations are good. They have Trey, which would definitely be good with George Kittle. A lot you could do there. A lot of damage you can do. bunch wide flex. This is, like I said before, more of an alignment thing. And that double move by Sherfield is wild. And you can create a mesh concept out of this as well, as you see there. Boom. And you have a lot of one play, or a lot of potential to make big plays, especially with George Kittle coming across. He's very athletic, so the mesh concept in general is just a wild and just really good formation. As you see there, if you've seen, there's a lot of confusion in the middle of the field, and there's potential to bump and just create big plays. So I could even lead the wide receiver going up the field on the other side and create an issue there. But mesh is great. Then you also have the double move. So if they're covering that too well, you have that double move going back to the inside. And then a lot of this Z spot, like I said, is just it's just a great formation. I think it's underrated. Tight, a lot of good tight plays in here. Seams is great, especially against cover 3. There's a lot of potential, and against cover 2, but there's a lot of good potential, especially with Kittle there. And then if you have Trey Lance, this opportunity here presents itself if they just cover it really well. And then you also have the corner route by Deebo Samuel going to the outside on the other side. It just creates a lot of space in the middle of the field and the outside. So there's a couple of adjustments you can do to this to make it better, but I'm not going to get into that too much. And then you see here, you have the underneath as well if you need to take your check down. Next, we're just showing some more tight. That slot curl is really good as well. That route by Sherfield and then Samuel is just great because they get in such good spots of the field. And then you have the little dig underneath by Ayuk. And if you wanted to, you could probably send them out a little bit further. And I'm just testing some stuff. This is a post commentary, by the way, but I'm testing some stuff out here. But they're playing cover 2. It does damage because of that seam. That seam streak there, it goes towards the inside, so it's going to draw that deep blue back inside. And then even with the cover 3, because he's playing so inside, the seam streak kind of draws the outside third inside a little bit, so it creates more space there. And then this is also a good formation to run out of, and you can also create a lot of different type plays there, as you see here. It's a great running formation. Next, we're going doubles, Y flex. You got Y sail, verticals. You have corner strike, which you could turn into a mesh concept as well. You have out levels. You have slot cross, which is really good. Inside zone. They have Trey Y flex, which once again, this is another great formation. You can create a lot of empty backfield looks with this as well. Trey open, another. Anytime Trey is in there, it's great. And then lastly, they'll have empty base flex. But honestly, I really like this playbook a lot, especially with this team. I think I'll have a lot of fun using this team. And honestly, this may, depending on how this game goes, this may be my team and my playbook going forward. If Trey Lance ends up, doing really well next year, or the rest of this year, who knows? I don't know. I haven't been watching any 49ers games at all. I haven't been paying attention to them at all. But there's potential. Even with him as he is right now, I feel like I've played with enough bad quarterbacks and good quarterbacks to get a feel of like the limitations. And but yeah, this may be my team and playbook going forward, especially with how everything's set up. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for staying in here for 25 minutes. If y'all do enjoy this, go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps your boy out. And we're going to move on to the gameplay next. So, peace.